Hello Virgo, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm an astrologer with 40 years experience in the business and 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Virgo, to this particular video on your moon phases for January 2015. The moon is very fast moving, Virgo. It actually moves through a particular house of your horoscope or a particular sign, 30 degrees, in 2.5 days. And so it goes through the whole of the zodiac, the whole 12 signs, in only 30 days. But it's its relationship to the sun that is what's called a fecundating agent. In other words, the moon phases in relationship to the sun are the things that bring forth the seeds from the ground at a particular time, and then it comes up out of the ground as a plant. And it brings also forth events and conditions in your life depending on the phases that are there. So what I'm going to do for you here, Virgo, is to help you to understand yourself more. Everything that I do here on my videos, and there's 145 YouTube videos that I've done now, everything that I do for you here is designed to help you to understand yourself more and to become more of who you really are. You've got a tremendous sense of duality there in your nature, Virgo. There's two sides of yourself. One side of yourself wants to soar and become more of who you are on the back of detail and getting down into the nitty-gritty of the practicalities of life. And another side of yourself wants to just drift with the tide and couldn't be bothered to raise the effort to make changes and to grow and reach and stretch and become more of who you really are. So you've brought yourself to this particular video at this time because you're ready to hear what I've got to say here. Now, when the moon gets into a conjunction with the sun, Virgo, that's what's called a new moon, and that's a very important phase in your life where you've got an opportunity over the following couple of weeks to commence and start new projects and ideas and get them off the ground and do very well. The last new moon phase that you had was on the 22nd of December in 0 degrees in Capricorn, and that lasts until the 4th of January when it's a full moon time, and it falls in a different house in your horoscope, Virgo, than what it does in the other signs. So it's a particular message from the universe about opportunities for you to commence and start projects and ideas than it is for an Aries or a Taurus or a Gemini. So it's a special message there on the 22nd of December until the 4th of January. It's a special message about your 5th house. The 5th house is the house of social activities, romance, love, children, and matters relating to recreation and enjoyment and having fun. So if you're in the market for a new relationship, then the time to start that relationship is from the 22nd of December through until the 4th of January, because on the 4th of January you have a full moon. And that's not a time for commencing and starting things over the following couple of weeks. So over the following couple of weeks, from the 4th of January onwards, Virgo, it's time for you to consolidate things that you've learnt and acquired in to do with the 5th house of your horoscope. Now the next new moon phase in your life, Virgo, is on the 20th of January, and that happens in 0 degrees Aquarius, and that falls in your 6th house. So that means that you've got a wonderful opportunity from the 20th of January for 2 weeks to be able to make changes in your job, to be able to go onto a different diet, to really start and commence new projects to do with exercise and looking after yourself in exercise routines and rituals, and all things to do with people that you work with and matters relating to your health and so forth. So it's a very important time for you from the 20th of January onwards for 2 weeks to commence and start new projects that are to do with the 6th house, okay? Now I also want to look now for you, Virgo, at the movement of Jupiter. Jupiter is a very important influence in our lives because it's the planet that deals with expansion. In the month of January, Jupiter is 23 degrees Leo, that means that it's been there in Leo there for about the last 9 months. So you've already felt the impact of this in your 12th house. So you've been really seeking a lot of solitude over the last 9 months. You've been seeking a lot of introspection and reflection. You've been really trying to aspire towards the divine to help you to become more of who you really are through solitude and through introspection and reflection, and through that introspection and aspiration toward the divine for the last 9 months. Now, Jupiter, though, goes retrograde, and it goes retrograde in the month of January 2015, okay? When Jupiter is retrograde, it means that you can possibly have bad judgment, Virgo. Bad judgment in regard to 12th house matters, so it is possible for you to get involved in a secret relationship or to be in some way self-deceptive, self-destructive. You can make decisions and choices that are not in your own best interests. You can be your own worst enemy, in other words, when Jupiter is retrograde, impacting upon your 12th house. Now, when Jupiter is retrograde, it also impacts upon another 2 houses that Jupiter rules. And these are different houses in your life, Virgo, than what they are in other signs' lives. And those houses are the 4th house and the 7th house. So therefore, in the month of January 2015, you have to be very careful, Virgo, about decisions and choices that you make that are to do with the family, to do with parents, to do with the domestic side of life and property matters. So it's not a good time for changes in your residence. It's not a good time for making major decisions to do with family matters. Be very careful with regard to social activities around the home connected with family, because you can have bad judgment and say things or do things which are not in your own best interests and in the family's interests. Now, it also impacts negatively, Virgo, upon the 7th house of your horoscope, which is the house of partnerships, marriage and spouse. So it can mean that you can have bad judgment in communications with your spouse or partner if you have one. And it can mean bad judgment for you to do with decisions and choices that you make to do with new relationships and things like that. It can mean that your partner can deceive you in some way or let you down in some way. So be careful of your judgment there about trust. And it can be a bad time for you to do with legal matters, so it's not a good time for you for commencing or starting any legal matters in the month of January, Virgo, okay? Now, I also want to look at the movements of Saturn for you, because Saturn is very, very important. Saturn tends to bring a lot of blockages and frustrations into our life, Virgo, and in your horoscope, it's impacting the 3rd house of your horoscope in January. Now, because Saturn is so slow moving, it means that it takes 2.5 years, Virgo, to go through a particular house of your horoscope. And it's been sitting in the 3rd house of your horoscope for the last 2.5 years. So you've noticed that it's impacted upon your health mentally. You've allowed yourself to wallow in a lot of depression and negativity and fear and anxiety and doubts and problems with your self-image, problems with your self-esteem. You've allowed yourself to drift into negativity with your mental processes over the last 2.5 years. There's also perhaps been illness for you connected with the lungs or the bronchial system, and there's also perhaps been the death or illness of a relative or a neighbour of yours in that last 2.5 years as well. So you've felt that impact, there's no two ways about that. But Saturn is about to move out of your 3rd house now, and it's going to mean that things will go a lot more smoothly for you, and I'll report on that for you when I do your moon phases for you for February. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea there, Virgo, of the type of influences astrologically that you're dealing with in the month of January, okay? Now, it's important now, probably my website address has popped up on the screen by now. So write that down and visit my website, because your higher self has brought you to this particular video not by chance. You haven't come to see this video by chance. Your higher self has brought you to this particular video because it reckons that you are ready, Virgo, to make changes inside of yourself now that you weren't ready to make even a month ago. A month ago you weren't quite ready to make these changes and adjustments that are now possible for you to make, and your higher self has brought you to this particular video because it wants to communicate to you the things that I've just communicated to you. But it also wants to help you to expand your understanding about the nature of reality and your place in that reality, and the tests that you're facing in life as a Virgo at this particular time in your life. There is an opportunity for you now, Virgo, to go to my website, and I've got 12 CDs there that you can download free of charge out of my first book, What Really Matters, a book about astrology, meditation and reincarnation. With my voice, with beautiful backing music, I take you in and out of meditation time and time again, and that represents my intensive number 1. Now that is 12 CDs there that you can download directly from my website. So download CD number 1 and listen to that and see what it means to you. If it means something and you think, yes, I can understand that and I can relate to that, and you think that's a good message that your higher self wanted to expose you to expand your understanding about things, then download CD number 2 and listen to that and see what you think. And if so, go on with the rest of them and listen to all 12 of them. So there's an opportunity. If it doesn't mean anything to you, that first one, well then no harm done. Put it down and leave it for 6 months or 12 months and come back, and then perhaps you'll be ready for the message that's in there for you. So that's a gift from me to you. Now there's another way that I help you too, and that is by doing what's called a free horoscope number 1. Now that can't always be guaranteed, Virgo, that it's going to be there, because the last time I did this I was getting 40 orders a day. That means that I've got to do 40 horoscope charts. So this is your individual horoscope chart that I have to do for you if I'm offering that free horoscope number 1 currently there at the website, okay? And what I do for you in that particular thing too is I send you your horoscope chart so that you understand your rising sign, but I also give you a 7-page report together with that free of charge, and that tells you about you individually. You see, you're an individual over and above other Virgos because of your moon placement, which rules your emotions. And where the moon is by sign and by house is an individual thing to you, Virgo. And so I tell you what that means to you. And Mercury rules your mind, and where that sits by sign and by house, which is different for you than other Librans. So it's from your individual horoscope, not just a generality to do with your sun sign or your rising sign. So I tell you where your Mercury is and what that means in the sign and what it means in the house that it sits in. And also Venus rules your love nature, and I tell you where that is by sign and by house. And I also tell you where Mars is, which rules your energy levels by sign and by house. So that is perhaps messages that your higher self wants to convey to you through that particular service that I'm offering to you free of charge. As I say, I can't always guarantee that it's going to be there, but it's a gift for you free of charge if it is there. Sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't have it, depending on how busy I am, okay? So that just gives you an idea now. Now subscribe to my videos, because I'll be actually doing about 150 new videos in 2015. So subscribe to my videos so that you get each new one that comes out. They cover all aspects of personal and spiritual growth and help you to understand yourself more and to expand that understanding about life and the nature of reality more. And that's about all I need to say to you here. So it's good to have this opportunity to be able to talk with you. And if you don't go to my website and visit that and download a free CD, well, no problem. I wish you well in life, and it's nice to have this opportunity to be able to communicate with you. If you go to the website, look at that and see what's there, and if it's all available, well, then get stuck into that and we'll have some fun together, eh? So I thank you for your attentiveness here, Virgo, and look forward to working further with you should you decide to take me up on that offer. Thank you.